This is the new BMW X1 and it's a little bit like the German economy because it's rather inflated. You see, the vehicle has grown in every dimension compared to the old X1, and that's probably rich coming from me as a Briton, you know, what with the UK economy. Anyway, in this video I'm not going to be talking economics. I'm going to talk you around the exterior design of this car. I'm going to show you what it's like inside. I'm going to try out its technology, see how practical it is and take it for a drive, which will include me launching it to see how quick it is from 0 to 60 miles an hour. Because I'm Matt Watson and you're watching Car Wow.
Car Wow.
Let's start off this video by talking about the design of the new X1. So here at the back, you've got a roof spoiler. It's quite angular. This car has the upgraded adaptive headlights, which means at the rear you get these 3D sculpted rear tail lights. Normally they'd just be flush with the bodywork. This being the M Sport, it has slightly beefier bumpers than the standard car, and it seems to have a fake diffuser and some fake exhausty trim bits. Why? Anyway, moving down the side. Alloy wheels start at 17 inches, which must look pretty small because these 20s look about okay. You got roof bars as standard because SUV. Dark and tinted rear windows, some contrasting trim low down to make it look a bit sporty. You got flush door handles. Moving down the side because it's the M Sport, you get the M badgage there. And moving to the front. Do you know what? BMW's designs have been rather controversial of late, but this is fairly safe. I mean, the grille is only large rather than massive, and once again here at the front you have more aggressive bumpers on this M Sport and some ventage there, which is real, helps smooth the airflow down the side of the car for improved economy. I like this. I like the sculptured bonnet. That looks pretty sporty, doesn't it? Now the new BMW X1 starts from around £33,000. That's for an entry-level sport. If you move up to the X line, it's going to cost you a bit more, and the X line has extra silvery bits to make it look a bit more off-roady. And then at the top of the range is the M Sport, which is more about looking sporty. Here on the inside, the X1 is really nice. I like the design of the dash and I like the quality. I think BMWs feel a little bit better made than Audis and Mercedes. Doesn't necessarily mean they're less likely to fall apart. The materials just feel a bit more solid, that's all. Oh yeah, look, we've got soft touch materials on the top of these doors here as well with stitching. That's all very good. And this, and I like the shape of the handles, and we've also got ambient lighting strips throughout the car. The way you've got this center console here, which is your armrest, but it's also got your drive select and your start button and your volume control. Then underneath that, you've got some big storage area. Look, oh, storagey. That was a fail at demonstrating it, wasn't it? Can't get that past your seat. Here you got some cup holders, cup holders, celebrate. And then here you have your wireless charging pad, and that little bit holds your phone in place. And there's two USB-Cs there if you'd rather just charge with your wire. Actually, do you know what? When I was at it, I should have just shown you the... Why didn't I learn? We'll just about fit through there. You've got some big door bins, though, wait a minute, I've just noticed, low down, the materials are a bit scratchy. See what also looks good? The big curvy screenage. Like that a lot. Quite nice graphics, they're very sharp. One thing I have found though is that it's a little bit laggy the way it moves. Not the best in the world. However, the system is quite easy to operate. Though to be fair, you're just going to use your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which is not only wired, but it's also wireless. Let's move on to the digital driver's display. So you can rotate through different content on there and change the layout and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty good. Though the graphics are a bit on the dark side. Speaking of the dark side, steering wheel. This plastic. What? It's like some child's toy. In fact, that shape is a little bit like a Tesla Cybertruck. There's nothing childish about the seating position though. As with many BMWs, it's really good, very adjustable. And if you like to sit nice and low, you can get nice and low. BMWs always allow you to do that. However, you don't buy a car like this to sit low, do you? It's an SUV, so you want to sit high. And indeed, you can sit high. It takes a while to get there, but eventually it does. And I tell you what, these seats are nice. These are the M Sport seats. They're quite grippy and they have this nice Alcantara effect there, which stops you sliding around in them. All good. Well, apart from a few annoying things, which I'll reveal a bit later on in this video. Here in the back of the X1, while headroom is very good, knee room is a bit tight. Very joking. I've got the seat slid all the way forward. Look at this. Oh. Knee room is great. Actually, I feel a bit upright. Once again, I'm only joking. Look, you get quite a lot of reclination. Good angle there. Ooh. And these seats are split 40, 40, 20. Yeah, this is roomy, this is comfortable. Lots of foot space, and you can really stretch out underneath the seat in front. If you need to carry 3 people at once, while there is a bit of a hump in the floor, those footwells are big enough. And this seat is wide enough that the middle person doesn't feel that uncomfortable, apart from the fact that they end up with that in their bottom, but obviously when someone sat there, they can be out of the way. So that's okay. And the body, it's not the widest, so when you have 3 adults in the back, you're a little bit tight on shoulder room, but everything else is absolutely fine. Now, what's not so fine is trying to get a baby seat through these doors, because they're not quite as wide as you might think. Look, they don't open all that wide. However, these ISOFIX anchor points are really easy to get to. Just lift up the covers like that, so it's dead simple to locate it. And when you push the seat into place, there is enough room for a bulky rear-facing seat. I want to show you this as well, look. You've got an armrest with some cup holders. Yes, they are exposed, which isn't ideal, but I do like the fact that if you need to carry longer items, you can fold this down and have, I don't know, what are you going to carry? Surfboard? Maybe not. Skis. Skis and snowboards. That would work, wouldn't it? Through there. Oh, gosh, come on. Other things I want to show you, look. We've got 2 USB-C ports there for charging mobile devices, little tray there for storing stuff. You have some nets on the pocket backs. You've got big door bins. Oh, yeah. The design's pretty nice back here. Like in the front, you've got a nice feeling of quality, although you do have harder plastics on the door tops, whereas they're soft in the front. Other than that, it does feel pretty nice. And I like this, look, we've got some ambient lighting in there as well. Lovely jubbly, like that quite a lot. What I don't like so much is this. The rear windows do not go all the way down. They don't, no. Why not? I do like to lean with my arm out like that, but no. Let's check out the boot. So the capacity is 500 litres on this 4-wheel drive version, but if you have the 2-wheel drive version, it has a bit more space, it's 540 litres. I think the additional space is actually underneath the fourth floor, so you get a bit more of a storage area there on the 2-wheel drive. But in terms of capacity, it's pretty much par for the course. There's not really a load lip to lift things over, so you can slide things in and out quite easily. You have some nettage area there for holding things secure, places where you can hang bags off. There's a 12-volt socket. There's a little cubby hole there as well. Then if you want to fold down the rear seats, you have to walk around. You can't do it from the boot. Bear with me. I'm folding the seats down. Oh, blooming it, they don't have to go down quickly. I'll just straddle this. I thought he was going to twat me. I did, it got me in the bloody face. What an idiot. Right. Oh, once you've folded the seats down, look, you can see that I'm pretty much completely flat, which makes me slightly annoyed with this car because my face is hurting. So, look, I can show you that that just slides in nice and easily. Anyway. Don't get cross with the car, Matt. Calm down. Anyway, that brings us on to 5 annoying things about the X1. The X1 can unexpectedly teleport you to another location and day when it's raining horribly. The paddle shifters for the automatic gearbox don't extend out far enough, so to actually hit them you need to do a serious reach around. Look, you have to reach around like that. See? Some people like a reach around, but it gets on my nerves doing that. BMW's cabins are usually well thought out. For instance, look, there are these little guides here for the rear seat belt so that when you fold the seats down, there's no snaggery. Snaggery isn't even a word. I forgot about this though. Look, they've done a horrible roof-mounted seatbelt for the centre passenger. Normally they'd like have the seatbelt there, but they've got it up there, which means it just gets in the way slightly of the person on the left rear seat. Why did they do that? Low cover. Doesn't fit under here. Look, won't go. Look, so yeah. You know what that means. It means you have to leave it in the car when it could get damaged. So I'm duty bound to do this with it. And I still blame the X1 for it raining. In the interest of minimalism, BMW is removing buttons from the cabin and putting functions in the touchscreen. So not only is the climate all controlled through the touchscreen, and it's quite confusing, but check this out. This car has automatic cruise control with distance control, so it can keep you safe distance from the car in front. Normally to alter that distance that you'll get from the car in front, you press a button on the steering wheel. But for some reason, BMW has made that far more difficult to do, because instead of pressing a button on the steering wheel, you have to press a button down here to access this menu, and then you press this button here, and then you go into this menu there to alter your distance control. What an absolutely idea. BMW hasn't bothered to move the hinge over for the central armrest to access the cubby. It's fine if you're in a left-hand drive car like you're in Germany, just reach straight in. Whereas for us, on the right-hand side, you have to look over like that and then reach in. I don't know if that's because they're annoyed because of Brexit, but yeah. Thankfully, this car has plenty of cool features to help make up for all this. Here's 5. There's ISOFIX anchor points on the front passenger seat, which is really handy if you're a father of 3 young children or you just want to have your child next to you while you're driving. Like with many cars, you can pay extra to have a panoramic glass roof. However, unlike with many cars of this size, the one on the X1 can also be open. Look. Let the rain flood in. You've only got yourself to blame, X1. You caused it to rain. Remember, it's your fault. That's good. And it opens quite wide. They don't normally open that wide either. Quite impressed. I think the interior's getting a bit wet. Whoever drives this home is going to have a steamy Windows experience, and not in a good way. The X1 has some special flaps in its grille, which can close when the engine doesn't need cooling to help improve the aerodynamics. In fact, this is the most aerodynamic car in its class. For example, the Volvo XC40 has a drag coefficient of 0.34 CD, the Audi Q3 0.32 CD, Mercedes GLA 0.30 CD, and this X1 0.26 CD. Oh yeah, winner, winner, white sausage dinner. This LED light strip under here will flash to get your attention if you've done something silly like you started driving away and a door's open. Or if the collision detection system thinks you're about to have an accident, it'll flash like a brake. Also, it'll flash to tell you that you've got an incoming call, and I'll show you now by making a call to myself, which is weird.
Watson.
Matt Watson. Look, it's flashing. I now know there's a phone call. I wouldn't have guessed, you know, with this jingle like playing away in the background. Just thought it was like part of the radio or something, right? The X1 can use its 360-degree cameras as a dash cam, so it records the preceding 20 seconds before an accident and the 20 seconds after, so you can use it in court. It's all very clever. I actually recorded this while outside the car. You see, I'm sat here, right next to you. Brilliant. Now let's move on to engines, and this is going to get complicated because there's quite a lot of choice. There's a 1.5 litre turbo petrol, and that has 136 horsepower. Then there is a 2 litre turbo diesel with 150 horsepower. Both of those X1s are front wheel drive. Then there's the 4-wheel drive versions. You can get a 2 litre turbo petrol with 218 horsepower or 2 litre turbo diesel with 211 horsepower. Now in the future you're going to be able to get 2 plug-in hybrids, one with 245 horsepower and another with 326 horsepower. There's also a fully electric version coming called the iX1, but that's a completely different video review. And to make sure you don't miss out on that, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to turn your notifications on. That way you won't miss that review or any upload. Right, let's see what the X1 is like to drive. Starting off with in town. So with the seat jacked up, you get a pretty good view forward. You can look over that bonnet quite easily. It's not too long, it's good visibility. Bit of a blind spot from this huge windscreen pillar, but you've got some massive door mirrors, and the view at the back window is pretty good as well. In terms of just tootling around town, the suspension is a little bit on the firm side, but it's not terrible. It does round the edges of the bumps off, so it feels sophisticated, if a little bit taut. As for the steering, it's nice and light in town, and the brakes are progressive yet strong. The turning circle is 11.7 meters, which is a little bit better than an Audi Q3, but not quite as good as a Volvo XC40. Can I make it round here without touching a curb or another car? Oh, I think I got this wrong from the get-go, have I? Let's get the parking sensors up, there we go. Oh no, I'm going to make it easy, look, easy. That is so handy. You need the 360 camera. Can I make it around here? Come on, I think I'm going to. All of this is helping me nicely. So that wasn't too bad. Yeah, it's very easy to drive. You know, you can't get a manual with this car, but do you want one? It's better to just be automatic, really. Makes your life easier. Okay, let's see what the X1 is like when you're going on a faster road. So here comes a section of dual carriageway. I'm going to accelerate from around 40 miles an hour and get it to motorway speed. So let's see what it's like. Flooring it now. Bit of a pause while the gearbox kicks down, but it's very smooth and the engine is punchy. Oh yeah, that got up to speed pretty well. You do get a bit of noise from the engine, but some of it's like fake noise that's piped into the speakers, which gets louder if you go into sports mode, so I won't be doing that right now. Speaking of loudness, do notice a bit of tyre noise, a little bit of wind noise as well, but it's not terrible. However, I don't think it's the quietest of these cars. An Audi Q3 is a little bit quieter when you're travelling at motorway speeds. As for the economy, well, this car is averaging 45 miles to the gallon, which is okay, I'll accept that. Finally then, country road driving. So I'm going to put the car into sports mode. Such a faff to do. Right, there we go. Now in sports mode. It sharpened the throttle response, made the car hold on its gears for longer, and added weight to the steering. So let's feel it. Actually, the engine's pretty punchy. Ooh, let's hurl it into a bend with wild abandon. Yeah, it grips really well, and for a tall vehicle it doesn't lean much at all. That's quite impressive. What's less impressive is the feel that you get to the steering wheel. While the steering is super accurate, it goes exactly where you think it's going to go when you turn the wheel, you don't feel anything from it. So it's hard to judge how much grip your front wheels have got and exactly how fast you dare to push the car, which in some ways is a bit of a shame because it is quite a fine handling car. I guess that is the benefit of the slightly firm suspension. I can feel it jiggling me about a bit now. It's one of the downsides of having 20-inch alloy wheels. They look good, but they can affect comfort. BMW says 0 to 60 takes 7.1 seconds in this version of the X1, but I'm going to find out for myself with my specialist timing gear. Let's launch it. Oh yes! 6.44 seconds. It's pretty rapid, you know. So then, what's my final verdict on the BMW X1? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the X1. It's a good, premium, smallish family SUV. I hope you enjoyed the video. Listen, if you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of this car by commenting. And if you want to watch some more videos, you just click on those windows. And if you haven't done so already, it's that button there to subscribe to this channel. Do it! Do it now, I demand you to.